Today's episode of Going In Raw is sponsored by HelloFresh. Get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and delicious seasonal recipes delivered directly to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
HelloFresh offers a variety of mouth-watering recipes to choose from each week to help you break out of your recipe rut. The home-style chicken and biscuit pot pie and beef bulgogi bowls are personal favorites of old Larson. With HelloFresh, you can stop with all the stress of meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking and get awesome meals on the table in about 30 minutes.
Go to HelloFresh.com/80GoingInRaw and use code 80GoingInRaw to get a total of $80 off, including free shipping on your first box. Additional restrictions apply. Please visit HelloFresh.com for more details.
Again, go to HelloFresh.com/80 and use code 80GoingInRaw to get a total of $80 off, including free shipping on your first box.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
On today's Going In Raw news beef, the Good Brothers shoot hard on their WWE release, a possible Kairi Sane update, a preview of tonight's Raw, and I give you my Slammiversary review. But first, we have some backstage details about last-minute changes made to last night's The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Larson, what's in the news?
Another show, another chance for Vince to change his mind at the last absolute minute, Steve, during the post-Extreme Rules edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. The Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer, reported the finish to the Raw Women's title bout last night at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Didn't go as originally planned. Apparently, Asuka was slated to win the match, only Vince to change his mind at some point yesterday. Meltzer speculates that Vince made the change in order to spur some interest in tonight's Raw, hoping that the few fans that WWE has left will want to see how the story plays out on cable television to help get those ratings up.
Yeah, because they're awful. They're really bad
awful
right now. But
speaking of ratings.
Yeah, speaking of ratings, WrestlingNews.co is reporting that Vince isn't terribly worried about WWE sinking viewership numbers, reporting that, quote, McMahon feels that the numbers will get back over 2 million after SummerSlam because he believes that fans will be back at shows by September. So, I mean, regardless if that's, likely or not, which it probably isn't, he seems, the general idea is he feels that, because of the pandemic, interest is down. And once, he has a full show available, whenever that is, he just thinks September, then the ratings will start to go back up. Additionally, a source told WrestlingNews.co that Vince is doing what he can by putting on pay-per-view matches on Raw and SmackDown, but USA and Fox are happy, and everyone knows things will get better when we can get some people back at arenas. This is what he thinks right now, and he's not sweating these numbers. End quote. Still not precluding him, evidently, from trying to entice people to check out Raw, hence the change at Horror Show last night.
And also we got Randy Orton versus
Big Show
tonight on Raw, and then on SmackDown this Friday they're going to have the bar fight between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy on SmackDown rather than having it on at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're trying to save some potential pay-per-view bouts for cable television in an effort to get the ratings from at least sinking too far.
Yeah.
Something tells me even if USA and Fox were understanding of why the ratings are not good, something tells me just Vince, the way he operates, isn't content to see the numbers going in a downward direction.
Well, yeah, he's a competitive guy in the first place, and I'm sure he'd love to, buck the trend and defy the expectations.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I've seen all over our comments, Twitter, everywhere. Anecdotally speaking, this is just what I've seen. Losing the fans just makes for a more boring product. There's that element there. I've said this endlessly. I even feel the same way. It's like I try to look at the product and get what I can out of it. But I can't deny that it's losing that spark of being in front of a live crowd.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. And I guess the worry is too, though, is how many viewers have stepped away from wrestling, whether it be because of the empty arena atmosphere, creative being kind of, fairly often relatively entertaining, kind of middle of the road, not a lot happens. People's viewership habits changing. Will they go back to them once fans get back in these arenas for wrestling shows? I mean, I think a certain portion of fans will definitely tune back in, but I don't think it's guaranteed that all of them will.
Hey, you know what, man? It's if they get a taste of life without wrestling, unless Vince is able to build that buzz back up, what you're saying might be completely true. You know, I'm sure, like you said, I'm sure there will be some people that come back. I mean, even in our own community, like Thayer Thabata was talking about how the Friendoverse threads for like the live shows just aren't as lively as they were before. I mean, this has affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. But yeah, no, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a difficult thing for him to get the buzz back. I mean, he's a great showman, and he can put on spectacle. And if he makes a big enough party with it, I think enough people will come back and give it a chance. But he's going to need to make some changes and really get that excitement back. You know, the stuff that only comes around every once in a while, he's going to have to figure out how to, you know, like the CM Punk pipe bomb, the, you know, Becky Lynch, her big turn when she became a thing.
Wildcard finals.
Yeah, exactly. More six-pack challenges.
I mean, I guess if they assume, fans will be in arenas, we'll start touring the country again, the viewers will all start coming back immediately. I think that's not a sound strategy to adopt. You gotta do more than just think, when the fans come back, everything will be fine. You gotta adopt some creative measures to bring forth some excitement.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. You know who does know how to generate some buzz, Larson? Impact Wrestling. I'm going to get to my Slammiversary review in just a little bit, and you're going to sit there and listen to every single word of it, Larson.
Well, I saw what happened. So
you know what happened in the end? The Good Brothers showed up, man. But before we get to Slammiversary, they took to their podcast, their Talkin' Shop podcast, over the weekend, the stroke of midnight, which I guess contractually is when they were allowed to talk about this stuff. Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows dropped that episode of Talkin' Shop, and man, they talked about a lot of stuff. We're about to talk about what they talked about WWE. I know I'm a mess right now. All your camera issues. I'm blaming it all on you, Larson. All your camera issues.
I'll take that heat, whatever.
All right. So anyways, they had a lot to say.
They did.
And we're going to talk about the WWE stuff first. So these transcripts are coming to you from Wrestling Inc. Man, whoever sat there and just clack, 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 pay them more.
That was my first job out of college, man.
That's
Transcribing
right.
interviews.
That's right. My God. You were a logger at one point, weren't you?
Yeah, tape logger. That's kind of the same thing.
That was like a special kind of hell, wasn't it?
I mean, it's not fun to listen to interviews or watch stuff and log and transcribe interviews. It's not the most enjoyable thing, but it's not hard work.
Well, shout out to Wrestling Inc. for getting these transcripts. Carl Anderson, the Machine Gun himself, said on when they knew they wanted to leave the WWE, he said, I would say overall the WWE run was fun. We had a great time. We built our names as high as we possibly could have done. But I think October 2016, I put a pumpkin on my head and went through a table. I looked at Gallows as we were driving to a brother's house before we flew overseas and said, what the F just happened? What did we just do? September 2019 was when our contract was going to be complete, and we didn't know where we were going to go.
So keep in mind, they debuted WWE, I believe, January or early February 2016.
So it wasn't that long before they were doing the Halloween, because I'm assuming he's talking about like a Halloween.
It was a Halloween match. I remember that match.
Yeah.
Carl Anderson continues, quote, we didn't know where we were going to pop up, what was going to be available, or what was going to be open. There was no such thing as AEW in October of 2016, but I think around October 2016, we're like, F, we got to get out of here.
Jeez.
And then, of course, AJ mentioned this on his Mixer stream when he called Paul Heyman a liar, said that he lied to himself and the Good Brothers, and they spoke extensively about that whole situation. Transcripts of all this from Fightful is what Gallows said about Heyman. Quote, we're both going. We hope he's not BSing us. We have these big contracts. We're rolling with AJ. He is Heyman. Because before this, they were saying how Heyman was like saying, oh, you guys are great, we're going to put the titles on you, so on and so forth. We're rolling with AJ. You got to think positive. To the end, he's putting us over and telling us how good we are, and we're going to put the straps on you a month down the line, but you deserve them now. but you're going to go to Saudi and be the best tag team in the world. If you ever have a problem with creative, or if I ever lie to you, go on social media and effing bury me. Effing put me under the dirt because I effing deserve it. I want those guys in the locker room to know I can be effing trusted.
Well, I can or can't.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
So yeah, if
I screw you over, feel free to talk crap about me, is what he's saying.
Yes.
Dude, that sounds like such a. I know Heyman was a very motivational. He was a big motivational speaker back in ECW. It's how he got people to work for him, even though he owed him like tons of money.
Yeah.
I just feel like that method of talking to somebody, in terms of an HR perspective, is just so outdated. Like, just be straight with them. Just be straight with them. It's absolutely insane. This guy gets opportunity after opportunity. And it's like, Paul, I mean, he's got some good creative ideas, but as we've seen, it's not like Raw, creatively speaking, is sinking without him. Yeah, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and sometimes it's just boring. It's a 3-hour show with no fans. It's going to be that way. I didn't watch this past Monday's Raw. You and Stevie Bradley did. I was on vacation last week, a week ago.
It was par for the course for Raw. Reasonably enjoyable, but not earth shattering by any stretch of the imagination.
So after that, Carl Anderson talked about getting the actual phone call. They were getting released. Yeah. So he said this. He said, getting that call, it didn't feel good. It took me back to having these conversations with Triple H. And he looks at me, he goes, sorry. He goes, dude, I look at you and I see your kids. I think about, what if AEW doesn't last? I can promise you one thing. WWE will always be here. He says, we stopped being boss and employee at that point, and we were obviously not friends, but two humans talking. I'm not saying that Triple H could have stopped anything or even cared, but hearing that from your boss and then having it happen, it's like, damn, they don't give an F. Trying to get to the bottom of it because it did feel weird. Asking around, we heard, well, it was Paul Heyman inspired. Really? We told AJ that. He asked somebody what they think of it. That person said yes. AJ went to Paul and said, did you fire these guys or put the word in? Paul said, no, you have my word that I didn't do this. If I would have known, I would have gone to bat for them. AJ went back to the same guy, asked again, and then went to Vince. AJ goes to Vince and said, tell me the truth. Is Paul the one that said fire these guys? Vince told AJ, they weren't on my list, but yes, it was a Heyman thing. We had heard, I think a couple weeks back, after AJ had gone on his Mixer stream and talked about all this stuff, that was the impetus for him moving to SmackDown, because he was like, I don't want to work with Paul Heyman anymore. Yeah. So he moved over to SmackDown, and of course, Paul Heyman was let go. I would suggest you guys listen to this podcast. I haven't yet, but there's a lot in there. They also talk about how, and we'll just leave this to you guys. You guys can check this out. But basically, they expressed some regret about how they handle an offer they almost took from AEW back before they signed extensions with the WWE. Essentially, it was get guaranteed money from AEW, I think, for 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Or 5 and way more from the WWE. I mean, I don't know, dude. I get it. It's a sound decision. Like, all that money, all that guaranteed money. I know he says, we at this point we do regret not doing that, not betting on ourselves. But I mean, when you're going out there in the world, if the idea is I'm going to bet on myself to like make more money than I would than in a different situation. I mean, unless you're talking about being creatively satisfied.
What seems to be the case, like if they're in that Halloween match and Carl Anderson has to put a pumpkin on his head and get powerbombed or whatever through a table, and that's not the type of work he wants to be doing, then I would assume going to bat for yourself is going back creatively.
I feel like
being involved, doing things that are interesting.
Because they had completely, according to him in the podcast, they had promised the Young Bucks, like they were going to show up at the end of Dynamite.
The very first episode, yeah.
The very first episode of Dynamite, and that was going to be the big reveal. And they had planned this. That was in the plans, and they had to be like, dude, look, sorry, this isn't going to happen now. Apparently, just Chris Jericho was pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah, because they were supposed to, according to Jericho, they were supposed to join the Inner Circle.
That's right, yeah. But I mean, at the time, it's like, man, I totally understand. I think he regrets... I mean, now I think
he regrets it. They regret it now because of what's happened since they signed the deals. Because they signed those huge deals thinking they were doing it for all this money. They get released. The money's guaranteed while you're under the deal, but they were under contract for 6-8 months. Yeah. Yeah, the other 4.5 years they're not getting that money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now they're pretty much back to the same spot they were before they signed those deals. but without the same level of opportunity potentially in front of them.
Well, and that's another thing is that somebody asked, well, why didn't they just sign a deal with AEW now? Dave Meltzer, they asked that to the Wrestling Observer himself. You know what he said? No offer was available. So after all that, AEW was like, good luck, boys. And so now they're 2 years with Impact. Following up on that, also just this morning, they appeared on an episode of Being the Elite. So that's nice to see that the any potential awkwardness or beef might have been squashed, at least between them and the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then Jericho on his stream Saturday seemed to, say, kind of water under the bridge. They're okay now. So
yeah, I might tune in tomorrow, man. I might do like a co-stream thing for Impact and see what's going to happen with all that, because they got some names there that for me
more on that later.
Yeah, it's a needle mover. But first let's talk a little bit about Kairi Sane. After weeks of rumors and reports that her time with WWE was potentially winding down, PW Insider reports that today's TV tapings will be Kairi Sane's last with the company, noting, quote, Sane is finishing up her run on good terms, having made the choice to return to live. To live. They're spelled the same. To live in Japan full time, as she was married earlier this year. Kairi Sane will remain part of WWE's extended family. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but the episodes being taped today will be her last as part of this run. Maybe she's still going to be under contract with them in some manner?
Maybe. I don't know.
Larson, are you excited about my Slammiversary review?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
You better be, because you're going to listen to every word of it. But before I get to my Slammiversary review, Larson, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, HelloFresh. Get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and delicious seasonal recipes delivered directly to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
HelloFresh offers something for everyone, including low-calorie, vegetarian, and family-friendly options every week. Whether it's chicken stir-fried tacos or sun-dried tomato and basil spaghetti, I know that I can make a great meal using fresh, high-quality ingredients and get it on the table in about 30 minutes. That'll make the whole Larson family happy. And now with larger box sizes, that means even more servings and more savings. Feeding the whole family is easier than it's ever been.
HelloFresh saves you prep time with their fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and saves you money. You can save up to 28% by using HelloFresh rather than shopping at the grocery store.
You can also easily change delivery days or food preferences, or even skip a week if you need to. HelloFresh is dedicated to making fresh, delicious food available now more than ever, and has taken extra steps to keep its employees and customers safe.
Go to HelloFresh.com/80GoingInRaw. That's the number 80 going in raw, and use code 80 going in raw to get a total of $80 off, including free shipping on your first box. Additional restrictions apply. Please visit HelloFresh.com for more details.
Again, go to HelloFresh.com/80GoingInRaw and use code 80GoingInRaw to get a total of $80 off, including free shipping on your first box.
HelloFresh is really good, actually. I had some of the, really God, what were they? They're like the pork burgers?
Those were good.
Holy crap, those were really good. So, yeah, check that out. All right, man, you ready for this? Ready for my Slammiversary review?
Doesn't matter if my camera freezes now. I ain't saying anything for a while.
Nah, it was pretty good.
End review.
Yeah, there you go. It was a pretty good show. No, man, let me take a look at the results here. Let's just go ahead and see what's going on with Slammiversary. I didn't take Steve notes on this one. Let's see here. 2020 results. I woke up 30 minutes deep into it. And I woke up during the Moose Tommy Dreamer match. I got up. I was like, oh, what a good nap. I got the drool off my face.
Wipe the drool off your face.
Yeah. And I saw on Twitter, it was like, oh man, Moose is out there fighting Tommy Dreamer. And I saw I loaded up. I was like, all right, I'll check out Fight TV. And so I loaded up, and Moose was like he was trying to get Tommy Dreamer's face into some thumbtacks. So yeah, it wasn't quite, I mean, I guess they sort of, look, there are a lot of changes obviously they had to make because of various things. Evidently, Tessa Blanchard, like one of the ideas on the table or something that might have happened or was going to happen or was pitched to happen by the Good Brothers, was that at the end of the show, I guess Tessa was supposed to retain. They were going to attack her. they were going to give Tessa Blanchard like a magic kill or something. But then, of course, the situation with her went down, so she was out. Everybody was wondering, okay, is EC3 going to be the fourth man? Turns out there were two fourth men. There was Eric Young, made his return, and Rich Swann, who earlier in the show was seen still with crutches hobbling around. He was injured. He was actually not injured. He showed up. And honestly, like, was it the impact, let's say, of like EC3 or even, as Alex C. had predicted, Carl Anderson with Gallows as his heater? Maybe not. They did eventually show up, but I think like the talent involved, like having Eric Young there as a throwback, and then Rich Swann is just a really, really great talent in the ring. It really made for just a super fun match, and it wasn't the kind of thing where you got EC3, who, he looks great. He looks amazing. He also was just fired by the WWE after years of not doing anything with them. Do you really want that as your new champion to start? It gives you the perception that, oh, we don't have anybody here, so we needed to bring somebody in who's a cast-off and just make him champion. That feels like old school Impact. I really love making Ed Edwards, the new champion. Because he's been there. He's been there. He is like, as Impact as anybody else. I think that's a really smart move. So there was that. There was the main event. That main event was pretty great. Moose versus Tommy Dreamer, that was a lot of fun. I'm really hoping that they set up. I was actually kind of hoping that with Moose winning over Tommy Dreamer, which everybody saw coming, he would have inserted himself into that title match, made it like a unification match, and then he'd just go around carrying both titles. That could have been a lot of fun, but they didn't go in that direction. Let's see here. A lot of returns, though. The Motor City Machine Guns. They're back. So that's cool. Good to see them. The North beat Shamrock and Sami Callihan.
They're feuding, aren't they?
They had been feuding. Maybe they'll continue to feud. There are a lot of bits where Shamrock, number one, Shamrock is in great shape. He can still do a lot of cool things. I think just given the nature of like no fans being there, it was like super empty arena. Like there was nobody lining. They didn't put any talent or anything there. There are a couple bits because that match towards the finish, the tag title match was like super overbooked. Shamrock just sort of looked lost some of the time, and it just, when you have a lot of fans there, that could be distracting. You don't notice it as much, but like Shamrock just sort of looking around like, man, why did you just do that, Sami Callihan? And he's just watching stuff happen around him. But otherwise, it was a really fun match. The North are really cool. The probably match of the night, this isn't even probably, the main event was really good, but match of the night was Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace.
I heard really good things about that.
Holy crap. That match was so much fun. That was just a really terrific wrestling match, dude. And then Deonna Purrazzo, of course, won the title there. Kylie Ray, as we both picked, won that knockouts for the gold gauntlet match.
The number one contender match.
Yeah, that match was not good. I'll be honest with you. They have a terrific knockouts division, women's division. They did not use the talent the way they should have. They did this bit where like what's his name? Johnny Bravo? There's some dude who kept
Not Johnny Swinger?
No, it wasn't Johnny Swinger.
Oh.
I don't know who this guy was. He kept on showing up, like, dressed up as various knockouts. Like, first he showed up, like, he was dressed up in a really bad Taya Valkyrie outfit. Johnny Bravo, yeah, okay. And it just took away from it. It felt like Santino crap, you know what I mean? Like, they have a really terrific division, and like, they didn't really showcase it in that match, except for a little bit in the beginning with Kylie Ray and I forget who she started out with. But yeah, I feel like I think it was Kylie Ray and Tasha Steelz maybe started out. I forget. But it was kind of whatever.
How many stars?
Oh, that one? Give it a 1.5.
All right.
Give it a 1.5.
All right. What was
Kylie Ray has ridiculous charisma.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous charisma.
Yeah, it was your highest rated match of any on the card.
Oh, for sure. Perazzo, Jordan Grace. That's a 4-star match right there.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. The main event, I'd give probably give that main. I'll be honest. I'll probably give that main event 3 3/4.
All right.
It's really terrific stuff. Probably the dud of the night was poor Heath Slater. He showed up, and you remember that Jack Swagger promo where he talked about the Rolling Stones?
Yeah, the Rolling Stone promo.
Heath Slater showed up and did that. It was ugly. Like, his mic wasn't working, which isn't his fault.
Yeah.
But, like, his mic wasn't, and then, like, he didn't really say, he came off, like, goofy like he was in WWE, and not like even how he just was in WWE for that one appearance. It was goofy, dude. It was, and then he backstage, like, he runs into Rhino.
Yeah.
And Scott D'Amore comes up and is like, "Hey, man, friends aren't allowed backstage."
So they're running the same, like, the free agent angle there too, huh? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's not good. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this is a good 3 3/4 star match. Chris Bay versus Willie Mack.
Oh, I'm happy that Chris Bay won.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Really terrific stuff. Yeah. Let's see here. What else happened? That's it. Oh, and so yeah, of course, after Eddie Edwards won the championship, Ace Austin and his heater, NWO Caljack, Sawyer Fulton,
Madman
Fulton, started beating up on Ed Edwards.
Yeah.
It's like something's burning in here. My house might be on fire. I'll check on it in a second. The Good Brothers showed up. They helped him out. Then they beat up Ace Austin, who's a terrific talent, by the way.
And then EC3 show up in the video or something like that?
So then, after all that's said and done, like, EC3 shows up on the Titantron. He's got, like, a little drink with him, like a little glass cup, and he throws it at the wall.
All right.
And then that was it. So evidently he's there too. I wonder if they had more distinct plans. Maybe, if, like, with all the stuff happening, I don't know. But it was solid. It was fun. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see about checking it out on Tuesday. I know I say that a lot, but I might actually go through with it this Tuesday. We'll see.
We'll definitely be seeing Raw tonight. There's only one item on the official preview as of like an hour and a half ago. That was Big Show versus Randall Orton in an unsanctioned match.
Here, you do the preview. I gotta go see if my house is on fire.
No, that was literally the only thing from the preview.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's the only thing they had at WWE.com. I could check right now. That's all they had. I guess your house will have to...
Well, I'm going to go check on my house. You answer some questions or something.
I'll do that. Here, I'll go check on WWE.com real fast, see if there's anything else. Do it on my phone. Let's see anything else. And, Aleister Black battles Seth Rollins tonight on Raw.
No, keep running.
And that appears to be it. You got to think there's got to be something with the whole Sasha and Asuka situation. All right, first question for Mr. Triple Mania, Juan Guerrero Jr. Aleister versus Seth tonight on Raw.
Oh.
Juan Guerrero Jr., Mr. Triple Mania. Hey, friend, it's going to be my birthday this Wednesday, the 22nd. Can I get a birthday shout-out from you guys? Happy birthday, Mr. Triple Mania.
On Wednesday, you can. On Wednesday.
All right.
Today's not his birthday. It's Wednesday.
All right. Well, remember that for Wednesday. As for my question, your thoughts on the speculation of a new Four Horsemen in AEW. Now, when I did News Brief by myself last week, I talked about this, and I thought it'd be a situation where maybe they'll do a 4-person faction inspired by Horsemen without necessarily using the Horseman name. Because with that name comes expectations, lofty, maybe unreasonable expectations.
Plus legal issues. I don't think they can use the term Four Horsemen.
I think Arn owns the name.
Really?
I think so. I thought I heard that at some point.
Wow.
But I think Arn has that IP.
Oh, then use it. Are you kidding me? Use it. Get Flair over there, man.
I think he just signed a new Legends deal, though, so that's not going to happen. Mr. Sinister, if you guys could choose the champions on all 3 brands from now till Survivor Series, who would you select so they can have a triple threat match just like last year? So they're 2/3 of the way there, because I would pick Drew, and I would pick Keith Lee. On SmackDown, I'm trying to think of some, because like both Keith and Drew are large dudes, but they're super athletic.
Yep.
So you're not going to get just like your typical old school Haas fight where there's a lot of punching.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of great moves, some interesting storytelling, a lot of creativity. I'm trying to think of someone on SmackDown that fits in with the both of them.
I'll be honest, man. I think it'd be fun if you have those two big athletic guys, plus you throw in an AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm. Or Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I think either of those guys could have so much fun, and they can do a lot of creative stuff.
No, give me this. Drew, Keith Lee, and Big E.
Yeah, that's good too.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's
good
what
stuff.
I want. Maybe easy. How would you guys feel about MJF unseating Mox and the whole elite going heel on the whole elite going heel on Hangman, turning Hangman to the ultimate fave to take the belt off the ultimate heel MJF?
I don't think anybody would want to see the elite all of a sudden acting like dicks. It would
I mean, I'd like to see Kenny be a heel again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I don't know about the Young Bucks. I don't know. Maybe people would be cool with that. It's just like, I don't know. I think I would start getting I was like, oh man, are they going to be like evil authority guys because they're all EVPs?
Oh yeah, yeah. You would hope not.
Right. Like I would sort of have that in the back of my head. And then if they didn't do that, I'd be like, why aren't they doing that if they're bad guys now? They should like abuse their power. That's the ultimate bad guy move.
Yeah, you'd think so.
I don't know. I kind of just like how I know that Kenny is showing obvious signs of being the cleaner and everything. And like he just had this radical attitude shift on Fight for the Fallen. I'm not sure how I feel. Look, I like when Kenny is a heel. I think he's super entertaining when he's doing that because he's so like old-timey villain.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really fit with what they do. Like I actually really appreciate what they do, which is like they act more realistically like dicks, like Matt Jackson trying to make sure that his relationships are all good. And in the meantime, he's just really annoying Hangman Page because he's like, hey, you're being too much right now. I actually prefer that because it's more like realistic.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
And the idea that Cody, Cody is showing some tendencies of being kind of a dick in the ring. But it's not overdone, you know?
Yeah, and you understand the motivation. He like the TNT title is the only singles title he could ever get in AEW, so he's trying to hold onto that any way he can. So you understand that. Dalen Dula, you have been abducted by a shady underground organization with mind-swapping technology. They're going to swap your brain with the wrestlers.
Oh, wow.
Which wrestler do you think would most seamlessly fit into your life, and which wrestler's life would you most seamlessly fit into?
Daniel Bryan.
For you?
Well, like in terms of, I think, our headspace, I'm not sure if I could keep up with his diet and exercise routine.
Yeah.
That'd be difficult.
I'd probably say Daniel Bryan, too.
He just seems like a super nice, cool guy with like, he seems like, I don't know, he just seems like a normal, cool guy.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't know, maybe Big E. Because he's very, like, he likes the juvenile jokes. He likes the over-sexualized stuff. Maybe I'd fit in better with him.
Fear and Loathing. You each get power of attorney for the other. Who are you booking them in a match with to score huge money?
I get power of attorney over you, and then
put me in a match against any one person to make huge money. For all of us. Not just one of us. All of us.
All of us.
All of us.
Well, Brock's the biggest draw. Like, I think people would be interested in seeing a little dude get just demolished by Brock Lesnar. It'd be like those Kimbo Slice backyard matches.
Yeah.
It would be Larson versus Brock. It's like, come see a man die. And I'd make you sign. Because I have your power of attorney, I'd sign the hold harmless agreement.
Yeah.
So it'd waive any liability. So Brock would be
we could literally have a Batman and Bane situation where Brock breaks my back and I have no recourse legally.
Right.
For any sort of restitution financially.
You'd have a lot of money, though. I mean, the match would make you a lot of money. I'd make sure you get paid at $2,000 easily.
Oh, great. Yeah, wow. Risk paralysis for a couple grand. I'll have you in a match against Otis.
Oh, okay. You think that'd make a lot of money? Maybe.
He was kind of a huge deal for a little bit.
Yeah, that was weird.
Jonathan, if you had to book another loser loses a body part match, who would be in it and what body part would they lose?
Be Baron Corbin loses like a finger.
I was going to say, so Pete Dunne versus someone else who does the joint manipulation stuff, and you got to win by like literally ripping off someone's finger.
Okay, yeah.
Like Pete Dunne versus Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, wow. Timothy Thatcher can lose that. He's already missing like weird teeth things in his mouth.
Yeah.
He would look dope with a freaking finger missing.
Yeah. Which wrestlers from the past would you have liked to see make a random cameo appearance in the Swamp match?
Well, let's take Eric Rowan out of that because
obviously.
Yeah.
Dan Spivey.
What a good answer.
Waylon Mercy.
That's a really good answer. I would say
Bray's dad.
Yeah.
Mike Rotunda.
Yeah. I'd say Ricky the Dragon Steamboat because dragons kind of look like alligators a little bit.
Oh, about Skinner. He was an alligator wrestler. That was his gimmick.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go.
One more from L.
Nails. There'd be like an escaped convict.
Yeah, there you go. One more from L. Power rank top 5 legends you'd want to see manage in AEW.
Sting.
Kevin Nash.
That'd be awesome. Nash needs to go back to TNA. Yeah, that was where he was best. I'd like to see Booker T.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's probably got a long-term WWE Legends deal though.
Stevie Ray.
Oh yeah, even better. In every episode you get a shoot interview with Stevie Ray.
One of the best storytellers in all of wrestling.
He really is.
He's really so good.
Super Famous Pro says, Steve, you still got to check out that Matt Cardona's new theme song. Now that you've built it up so much, I feel like it's going to be wholly underwhelming.
No, it's going to be a situation like Nikki Cross and Asuka, like Nakamura to Bushi. Hey, you should check this out. Oh, all right. Never do.
I'm not going to have a choice. At some point, he's going to sign somewhere.
You'd think so. So you got to think he's going to AEW, yeah? What about Miro? Where's Miro going?
Miro's going to go to Impact. Miro should go to Impact. Dude, AEW, they need to like just buck expectations. Don't sign anybody that got released from WWE. Unless it's absolute, like FTR was a dream match situation. They left basically to go do the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
That's totally acceptable. Did they bring out anybody else from those releases though? Well, no, they don't have a time. So we'll find out like Wednesday if they're going to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Or
Blake. The Good Brothers said later in the podcast that after they got the tag titles, Creative said, "We want you to be able to say that you got them." And the reaction was basically, "Who cares? Titles are fake." My question is, why do wrestlers not care about titles?
It seems to be a wrestler to wrestler thing. Like some care, some don't care at all. Like obviously Hulk Hogan thought that having the title gives him.
It wasn't just the title; it was what the title meant. You know.
Well, for him, it meant money. Exactly. I mean, that's what he felt.
Money and power, that's what it meant. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But in his mind, that was the thing. Not everybody thinks that. Like Scott Hall in his interview with Steve Austin, he didn't care. He was like, he said that he felt that wrestling was like being on a football team. Everybody does their job and everybody succeeds. Everybody gets more money when everybody does their job right. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's how a lot of people feel. But I mean, obviously, if you have a title, it means, for the most part, it means that the company feels that you have value, and that I think can translate to more money. But seemingly not everybody feels that way.
I mean, you think if nothing else, having a title in theory would mean you would be more involved in stuff.
You would think so.
But
yeah,
especially in WWE's tag division, that doesn't always pan out.
It's like, hey, I have this. They like me.
Yeah. Nick, with the chances of Hell in a Cell not happening this year, do you guys think WWE will bring back No Mercy? Or do you see Evolution 2 taking its place? I'd prefer Evolution 2.
There's so much like sort of weird nebulous chatter about Evolution 2. I'd be shocked if it wasn't announced sometime soon.
Yeah, I know. Blake Elizondo, now that we're starting to see released wrestlers pop up, what are some ideas that they should do? He mentions Ryder popping up with a new internet champion, so now he should go after all the internet titles like the Cultaholic title, the H title, and Big Red.
Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down to see what's the name, Matt Cardonis against Simon Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be all about that. I'd
That'd
travel.
be great.
Well, after pandemic, I'd travel to go check out that match.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Greg Morris, you're put in charge of opening a wrestling-themed restaurant a la Planet Hollywood. What is it called? And come up with 5 wrestling or wrestler-themed dishes. Any federation. I feel like I've had a question similar to this before.
Favorite? Wait, what's that?
Wrestling-themed restaurant and 5 dishes. 5 menu items.
Dude, give me the Bullet Club buffet. I want a Bullet Club themed restaurant.
Oh, just Bullet Club. Okay.
Just Bullet Club. And then they have a buffet there that's just too sweet. Then they got the too sweet baby back ribs.
Well, it'd be the too sweet. That's what they call like the dessert area.
Everything is too sweet
This
there,
spot
dude.
is just too sweet.
I mean, they only have a limited number of things, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can have the I don't know. I'm not really good with puns, to be honest with you.
None of the Bullet Club members' names that I could think of are really food pun worthy.
The evil. I don't know. Do you have something for evil?
Like the evil burger, supposed to be like the Angry Whopper, red bun and all.
That's perfect. Okay, that's one. We have the Bullet Club buffet. We got the 2 sweet desserts. What about Jay White? Give me a Jay White Switchblade. What?
Chicken tenders.
That's the most boring shit. Switchblade Jay White chicken tenders. Okay, and then bad luck fillet. Bad luck fillet.
There you go. That's good. See, that's a
Bad
pun.
luck fillet.
Bad luck fillet. There you go.
The switchblade chicken tenders. There's not even a pun there.
No, not
That's
at all.
awesome. There you
Not
go.
at all.
The bad luck souffle.
There you go. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's good. Tony V says LPs.
Oh, that's good.
You get peas.
That's good.
LPs. It's just
T.
a
Austin.
bowl of peas.
This is a bowl of peas. T. Austin, if all main promotions combined together, who would you like as the main champ, mid-card champ, tag champs, and women's champs? You may do more if you want to. So
Wait, what?
If every wrestling promotion joined forces, just one giant wrestling promotion around the world, who would you want as your top champion?
Brock Lesnar.
Okada. Next, mid-card champ.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
No.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, and then people in that division are Zack Sabre Jr., AJ Styles, all the good just wrestlers, you know?
Yeah. Tag champs.
Tag champions, probably, it'd be the New Day.
Yeah. New Day or Young Bucks. And then women's champ. Asuka.
Asuka. Of course, Asuka.
Nelson G. Name a wrestler and what possible new talent or skill they have learned during quarantine. I guarantee you Daniel Bryan is learning at least 3 new things.
Yeah, I know Baron Corbin is learning how to perfect
Barbecuing,
the barbecuing, yeah. I believe
I
that.
actually rather enjoyed watching his videos on Twitter, grilling and such.
Bob Roode is learning what it is to be like a stay-home dad. He's either miserable or really happy.
Yeah. Another one from Nelson. If you had a pay-per-view themed after a movie, or TV show, what would be some of the stipulation matches?
Okay.
So have a Deadwood-themed pay-per-view.
That's good.
And have a thoroughfare match.
Thoroughfare match. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Well, you can kind of go eye for an eye and have a pay-per-view based off the Nick, where at the end you have to like operate on yourself.
It's good. It's good. Lord Ziffer, would you guys rather see a ladder match for the Intercontinental title or U.S. title at SummerSlam, and who should be in the match? It's the U.S. title. You have MVP, the self-proclaimed U.S. champ, against Apollo. Have a ladder match, have both the belts up there. Whoever gets both the belts, U.S. champ.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Oh, wow. How would you explain to AJ, the name's just a B emoji, how would you explain to AJ that the world isn't flat without coming off as rude?
It's impossible. I mean, maybe Bill Nye the Science Guy can do it, but I've seen videos of him cursing too, so I don't know.
Yeah. Sean, fantasy book 2 wrestlers from the past to put in an eye for an eye match.
2 wrestlers from the past to put in an eye for an eye match. Well, that's what Jake Roberts versus Rick Martel should have been.
Yeah, to have a blindfold match.
Jake Roberts is a good one because he could do, all the whatever, all the biblical references and the eye for an eye stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So I would do Jake versus I would do, how about this? If we get to Rawgate this, I would do Jake versus Naito because he does yeah, that's good. That's good. Samuel Bronkowitz, who was the MVP of Extreme Rules last night? Last night it was
Gotta go with Bailey.
Yeah, I was about to say Bailey too. I was about to say that.
See how you can argue against Bailey.
I mean, in kayfabe for sure, she won her friend the title. Out of kayfabe, maybe it's Sasha the way she was taking those German suplexes.
Man,
holy crap!
She was taking some bump last night. Dusty Ballskin, Steve, you say the under 2 sweet Bullet Club does is lame, but technically when you bowl, you're doing an under 2 sweet.
Oh, get out of here!
The
with
3
that.
fingers that go in the holes are the 2 sweet fingers, and you roll the ball with an under motion.
I
That's
know
true.
how it
That is
works.
the same motion. I mean, you're the bowling at 300. I feel like you would appreciate that.
Right here. Yeah, I'll have to rethink that under 2 sweet. Too sweet.
Sweet. And that's all the questions we have on Twitter.
All right, we got one highlighted message right here on the Twitch. Crossface Chicken Stain says, watching The Miz get roasted. That was funny. Did you see that on Twitter? So The Miz was on Up, Up, Down, Down, but he was like in a Zoom call with a bunch of people. They're doing some sort of online thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see Maurice start laying into him, or you hear from off camera, like she had a call of something, just laying into him. Like, you have no respect for me, blah, blah, blah. It was the most awkward, hilarious, like freaking
Oh my gosh.
encounter everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty great though. And then everybody just started clowning the shit out of him. That was good stuff.
That's funny.
All right, I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning into this news beef. We appreciate it. And hang out with us tonight on the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, as we review Raw.
That's right. And we got Friendo Club TV coming up here soon, too.
Yep, that's right. So thanks,
Chairs
everybody.
falling.
Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.